I think we're live. What's up, everybody? Thanks for coming to watch Sound Booth Theater live requests only. Today, we are going to do 3 requests as usual. The top 3 votes. You know what? I have a bone to pick with you guys. Number 1 was okay, and this is not to disparage the person or the request that actually got through today, because I do think that the whatever has been on the list longest is a good idea, you know, but it seems like you guys want to do it all the time. And yeah, it's like a non-vote almost. So you guys should be more um decisive about what you want to hear on this damn show. Participate, you you lazy voters, you. But because of this, though, I'm actually pretty excited because the book that was oldest is called First Login Chronicle Book 1. And let me see. I'm actually going to go ahead and screen share so that you guys can see all the covers of the oh no. Oh, okay. I thought it was muted. I'm not muted. I'm going to show you all the covers for the requests we have today. So, first thing first thing that we're gonna do is "Barred to the Bone" by Sid Banks. I think that was the number 2 slot, or maybe tied for 2nd and 3rd. But, Bard books are becoming more and more, um, popular in the lit RPG and possibly harem communities. I can see why, because bards are cool. They make music. Um, but they're the rock stars of fantasy. And even though maybe you don't get to own as many mobs as a bard, you get to have a lot of fun. So I'm really glad more books are coming out in the spirit of bardness, and Bard to the Bone looks like it's going to be a good one here. I mean, it hasn't been out very long. It's got a lot of good reviews. Ramon gave it a 7.4. That if that's not an endorsement um, worth acting on, I don't know what is. Uh, After that, we're going to be moving on to First Login, as I was saying, Chronicle, Book 1 by Kevin Murphy. This came out more than a year ago, I think, and it's done pretty damn well for itself. People seem to really like it. I'm wondering if I've even read a bit out of it before on this show. We will see. Uh-oh, sounds like someone's jumped in here. No? Never mind. Ah! So yeah, let me see. Let me search for it real quick. First login. Okay, so it was August when I got a request for it, the PDF from it. Um, but let's see. I guess that is the first one. It's the first time. Okay. So, this will be I think it's a superhero lit RPG, which I really do like the superhero type stuff. So I'm gonna have fun with that one. And then our last but not least request is Troll by Emma Clark. Where is it? Where is it? Here it is. Uh, Fantastic cover, as you can see. Very classy with the weird reflection that kind of muddies up the letters. And I think what is this? I think that's supposed to be a mouse. Is that what that is? With the 3 buttons? I don't know what this is. I think it's a mouse. And I think that whoever wrote this, Emma Clark, has some idea of what a computer is because they know what a mouse is. and they know what a troll is. Michael Ryan Soilo, our very dependable cringe theater advocate, who has given us many a juicy piece of content for cringe theater, is the one who requested this one, and he actually requested it or talked to us about it earlier in the form of a YouTube video by a YouTuber by the name of I forget her name. Hold on. I'll find it. 1 second. I will find her name because I've been like vegging on her channel because she's so fucking funny. Where is it? Her name is. Oh, come on. I shouldn't be showing you guys what I watch on YouTube. Where is it? Are you kidding me? I can't find her. I can't find her channel. Here it is, Jenny Nicholson. She is hilarious. I suggest after you subscribe to the Sound Booth Theater live channel, of course, ah, that you go subscribe to Jenny Nicholson. She's a mega nerd and she's really funny and analytical. So anyway, let's get started here. I'm gonna start with Bard to the Bone. I invited the authors. I don't think they're gonna come. I invited Michael Ryan Soilo. He's not coming. I'm all by myself today. And so we're gonna get right on Bard to the Bone. So let's see. Let me go find it in my email. Bard to the Bone. Hmm? Bard? Uh-oh. Looks like we didn't get a PDF from this one. Sid Banks, maybe? No results. Okay, well, Kindle Unlimited it is. And we will return this. Cool. And we are going to open up Kindle and ask you guys, have any of you read this? Have any of you read Bard to the Bone? If so, please tell me what chapter you would like me to read from. There it is. By the way, guys, everything that gets requested on this stream, if there is a link to access it publicly, it will be available in the description below, labeled properly and everything. And this one is on Amazon. It's doing quite well for itself. It is on Kindle Unlimited, so if you're an unlimited person, then you get to try it out for free. Oh, man. See, the first chapter starts off really nice. So let me see. Maybe I'll just do the first chapter. If I don't get any feedback from you guys as to what I should be reading. I don't know where this guy's from. I don't know anything about him because I never got any direction from an email. But we're just gonna try it out. I I'm gonna go with a British accent because I feel like it. But one more thing, there's a possibility Annie may be joining us in a little bit, so I'm gonna go set up the laptop for her real quick. 1 second, guys. Be right back. There we go. It's set up. Yes, Barred to the Bone. It is the first book on the list in the description, and I will start now. Oh, Cold Manhattan Studio. Okay. So he is an American. All right. That's a little bit boring, but oh well. We'll do it anyway. Maybe I'll do this one as Quantum. How does that sound, guys? Quantum Hughes playing a bard. Any objections? Watching the chat for just 10 more seconds. No? Okay, we're doing this. Quantum Hughes as a bard. Chapter 1. Drunk. Character reflexes reduced by 50%. Sleep, charm, seduction, and confuse resistance reduced by 50%. You have received a status effect. Would you like to learn more? No, thanks. I waved away another hologram box of text. This isn't my first time playing a video game. I think I can skip the tutorial. Cascadia Quest wasn't your run-of-the-mill immersion experience. Instead of relying on a visor and a haptic gear to throw players into virtual worlds, Cascadia Quest beamed sensations and sights directly into the brain. I could hear the crashing of waves behind me and feel the warmth of the sun on my neck. This tutorial area was an island, with charming medieval villas looking out over the sea. In here, it felt like the middle of July. In reality, I sat on a worn-down couch in my cold Manhattan studio. This epic fantasy world was overflowing with things to explore, but when I'd spawned, I'd headed straight for the bar. I needed a drink. Or 5. I lifted a drinking horn as long as my arm off the wall. The bartender, a balding man with a robust waist, scowled. "That's for decoration." "Put it on my tab," I said. I tipped a pint of mead into the horn. My friends chuckled as all 3 of us poured our drinks into the horn. I needed 2 hands to raise the heavy horn to my lips. The horn wasn't the best vessel for chugging. Golden liquid poured into my mouth, leaking over my face and across the table. People sprang away from the table as it slopped over the sides. I laughed at the foamy wetness on my cheeks and the buzz filling my head. Wow! The developers had managed to mimic the sensations of getting tipsy. My tunnel vision was getting worse. The status effect, drunk, hovered in the bottom left corner. Dave's heavy hand patted my shoulder. "I'm sorry about your job, bud." "Yeah, I'd lost my job this morning, during a meeting with the virtual HR manager. The soothing robotic voice informed me that my contract was expired and would not be renewed. My position was so low on the totem pole that it didn't even merit being fired in person. A final pay stub would come in the mail. I had 1 hour to vacate the premises. I hadn't argued. There was no point in trying. Throwing a fit would just get me tossed from the building by security. After schlepping back home through the rain, I'd spent the rest of my day holed up in my tiny apartment. My jaw had ached as I scrolled through pages of listings. They all demanded highly experienced and dedicated candidates, yet paid next to nothing. I breathed deep, forcing myself to stop thinking about it. My friends and I had been excited to play the newest award-winning MMO. Now, I was bummed. At least the drinks are free. Right? Dave's ginger beard seemed to swim around his thick neck. "It beats paying for $14 cocktails downtown." And the hangover. I reached for another pint. My clumsy fingers knocked it over. Damn it! Who's up next? The guys argued about who would chug from the horn next as I walked to the barkeep. I wanted a vacation. Can I have a Mai Tai? The bartender paused as he wiped a glass. What's that? I rolled my eyes. It's a cocktail. Ah, well, we only have oak-matured ales and southern wines. Bit lame. But what did I expect? This was Cascadia Quest, and an MMO fantasy game. If I wanted tropical cocktails, I should have bought a beach immersion experience. Still, it was nice. Refreshments in the tutorial area were complimentary, and I accepted another pint from the barman. Barman. Barman? I think it's barman. I returned to my friends, pushing my now overflowing mug at Victor, who'd chosen a mage for his class. He'd spent the last half hour talking about his magical abilities, but I'd yet to see them in action. Can you light it on fire? Victor chewed his lip. I don't think that'll work. Beer doesn't burn like liquor. Try it anyway, Dave urged. Victor's face screwed in concentration, and he held out his palms. There we go. A yellow flame danced in his palm. He tipped it toward the foamy mead, but it didn't catch. Damn. Let me up the juice. Flame burst out and ignited the middle of the table, spreading out across the coarse wood. Everyone scurried out of the way except me. It was just a game, and I was in a reckless mood. The bartender hadn't noticed the blaze steadily burning his furniture. Smoke spiraled from the orange flames, which grew higher and hotter. I wonder. I bent closer to the heat. It didn't feel that hot. Dave cringed. I don't know if that is a good idea, man. What? I glanced back at my friends, shrugging. I can't die, right? Before anyone could object, I thrust myself through the blaze. All I felt was a gentle tickling sensation. Meanwhile, red status effects were popping up everywhere. A flurry of zeros popped where my skin came in contact with the scorching heat. Burn. Character takes fire damage every second. Note: all damage is reduced to 0 in the tutorial zone. Whoa! That's insane! Dave backed away. Your hair's on fire! Does it hurt? Nope. My vision rippled. It's kinda nice. Have you ever been to one of those hair drying things at a salon? That's what it feels like. Victor grabbed the empty drink. Awesome. I want to try. Fire! There was a crashing of glass as the bartender ran around, clutching a bucket of dirty mop water. Hold still! An exclamation point hovered over his head. What's the— Water drowned my question as he threw the bucket. I slipped off the chair, coughing. The wave of cold doused the flames. Burn disappeared. I bowed from the table, dripping. You didn't have to do that. That's it. I don't want you troublemakers in my establishment. Apoplectic, he pointed at the door. Get out, all of you. The guys roared with laughter as I shook wetness from my face. Sneering at the bartender, I strolled outside. Victor squinted at the sunlight. We got kicked out of the only bar. It's cool. I'm ready to play, Dave said. Where do you think we'll spawn? I tuned out of the conversation as we headed up the hill. Our surroundings were gorgeous. Behind us, turquoise waters lapped a sandy shore. The sky was a boundless blue, and the sun beat on our necks. It wasn't blistering, though. The warmth made me want to find a chaise, if they existed on the island, and close my eyes. Honest to God, I might never leave the lobby. We turned away from the crashing waves, heading toward a collection of bleached stone buildings with terracotta roofs. Impressive statues with regal faces towered several stories high. Lush vegetation grew everywhere. Vines crawling up walls burst with fuchsia flowers. My thighs barely protested at the steep climb. A bustling courtyard surrounded the shimmering portal where players left the tutorial island and entered the game world. NPCs wandered, chatting with player characters and showcasing their unique powers. 9 towering figures stood at the perimeter, representing the classes Templar, Priest, Mage, Bard, Ranger, Rogue, Duelist, Warrior, and Paladin. Holy shit, Peter, 235 hours? God damn, dude. That's a mega fan right there. Thanks so much for listening. Wow. 200. It's kind of hard to imagine that anyone would listen to my voice that much. Whew, that's weird. But hey, I'm glad you're enjoying it. A cobalt and gold banner with a conch shell logo rippled above a Cascadia Quest help desk, which sat under weathered signs written in black letters. People clustered around the support staff, a man and woman dressed in khaki pants and navy polos. Semi-transparent UI account services windows floated in the air as players scrolled through their contents. My friends anxiously eyed the gateway as they finalized their character choices. They looked pumped. You guys go ahead. I still need to decide my class. You sure? Dave clanked toward me, wearing the steel armor I'd seen on the Paladin in-game footage. A white cape with crimson trim flowed down his broad back, and he clutched a massive axe. You finished? You finished, Victor? Victor nodded. Yeah, but it doesn't matter if we leave together or not. We'll spawn in different places. Sounds good. Dave's beard oscillated in a rainbow of colors as he scrolled through the UI, making finishing touches on his avatar. We can make a chat room to stay in touch. Victor nodded his agreement. Bye! Bye! I smiled as Dave led an excited Victor through the portal. They disappeared in winks of light. Eager to join them, I examined the characters. Which should I choose? I must have spent hours researching, and I was no closer to deciding. I approached the Conan-esque warrior, who wore a bull-horned helmet and challenged me with a growl. Crush your enemies! See them driven before you! The warrior forced a sword into my hands. I barely gripped the hilt of the short sword before he charged me. Yelling, I swung upward. My blade met his axe. The contact jarred my wrist, vibrating up to my elbow. I dropped the sword, rubbing my wrists. Fight! He screamed. Prove your strength! Nope. I ducked under his next swing and walked away. Come back and fight, coward! The warrior's taunts followed me as I explored my other options. Another player took up the challenge, swinging with ease a massive spiked hammer wreathed in flame. His attack missed, and the weight of the hulking weapon shattered the stone where it landed. Hacking and slashing with oversized weapons would be fun, but so would blasting foes with magic. What interested me besides warrior? Across the courtyard, a hooded woman shot inky shadows from her fingers. The shadows formed a grinning skeleton with pulsing yellow orbs for eyes. The same gaze glowed underneath the mage's hood. She grinned. Would you like to learn more about the magical arts? Okay. The skeleton burst into flames with a casual flick of her hand. With a mage's powers, you can control the elements of this world. Darkness, light, ice, fire. She snapped her fingers, lassoing the blaze like a whip around the skeleton's skull. It released a ghostly howl as its head popped from its shoulders, crumbling into ash. You can become a mastery of illusionary work, or use your talents to conjure an army of familiars. The choice is yours. Picking mage was tempting. The thought of feeling flames burst from my hands was so cool. But I'd been a magic user in 1,000 games, and I wanted something different. I glanced at another NPC playing a handheld harp. He was leaner than the others and a bit smaller. A goatee graced his chin. His dazzling white smile flashed as I approached. Well met, traveler. Stay for a while and listen to my song. Sure. He twanged the harp. Bards can be storytellers or tricksters, heralds or spies, lovers. Bards wield the power of music. To succeed in this class, you must have great cunning and learn to balance a rogue's charisma with magical ability. What kind of musical powers? All sorts. His fingers plucked a quick three-note riff. Here is but a taste. A UI prompt jumped in my vision. Song of Sorrow. This mournful melody strikes listeners with a deep and profound sadness, inflicts despair on characters. Song of Seduction. This romantic ballad inspires lustful thoughts in those who hear it, greatly increases romantic relationship with attracted characters. Chance to successfully seduce plus 100%. Song of Mocking. This clever satirical tune cuts deep, profoundly insulting the listener, reduces willpower defense and charisma defense of listening targets, reduces relationship with listening targets. Song of Rest. This soothing serenade brings peace and rest to those who hear it, restores characters' HP over time, removes rage, silent, and confuse. Chance to inflict sleep plus 100%. Well, color me intrigued. Do I get these when I start? You may choose one, but you'll learn more as you keep adventuring. I scanned the list. It was hard to narrow them down. I chortled at the Song of Seduction, wondering if it was a gimmick the developers planted. Let's talk about the Song of Seduction. All right, he purred, his voice deepening. As you may already know, bards are famed for their musical prowess, their ability to serenade villains to sleep, and their genius in the art of seduction. I smirked, imagining a gorgeous NPC falling at my feet. Cool, but how would that help me fight enemies? I thought you'd ask me that. Observe. Confidently, he strode from the wall to the middle of the square where NPCs were showing off their moves. A Templar woman and a warrior were locked in a fierce battle. The Templar smote her male opponent with a lightning bolt from her axe. The warrior stumbled back as a black scorch mark burned his chest. Smiling, the bard played his harp. A lovely waltz filled the courtyard, the sound interrupted by grunts from the fighting NPCs. Slowly, they noticed the music. The Templar parried a blow from the male warrior, looking in the direction of the bard. Templar girl, a vision of beauty. Why not dance with me instead? The bard's lilting voice sang in a Templar girl, a vision of beauty. Why not dance with me instead? Okay, there we go. Breathing hard, the Templar charged the warrior. The bare-chested warrior struck the Templar's axe. Bolts of lightning darted from their clashing weapons. Continuing to sing, the bard strummed harder. That melody! The Templar glanced at the harpist, a blush rising in her cheeks. It's beautiful. Goddamn Jean-Pierre Solomon. He has 24 books read by me. That's a shit ton, man. Thanks so much for being such a awesome supporter. Oi! The warrior shouted at her back. We're not done. Are you ignoring me? I've had enough of your jawing. Swinging the axe in a wide arc, she split the ground. Nothing happened at first, and then a deep crack fissured, running between the warrior's legs. He leaped aside, narrowly avoiding falling into the chasm. It is chasm, right? I think. I always forget. The warrior headbutted the Templar. She screamed and shoved him back, then turned her full attention to the bard. A pink heart icon appeared above her. Are you in love? The warrior mocked, seizing the opportunity to slam into her chest. Ha ha ha! Oh, sorry, guys. Speaking of bards, my brother showed me this video game, and I'm like, I guess, really behind on this because it came out in 2014. Rocksmith? Have you guys seen that? That is such an excellent game, man. They actually teach you how to play guitar like legit. If you're wanting to learn guitar, I would recommend going out and buying that game. I'm thinking about getting it myself. It looks like so much fun. She fell, heavy armor clanking to the floor. A violent wind blasted the sword from the warrior's grip, and she socked him in the stomach. Her boot slammed into his chest. Once again, she stared at the bard. He walked closer, still plucking the strings. Forget him. You should enjoy the company of a real man. The bard's tone deepened. My tongue is stronger than his sword. She beamed. Okay. Hey! The male warrior struggled upright. Sawed off, bard! The bard turned at the waist, facing the warrior as he played. The warrior said in desperation. Wait! His face scrunched as though smelling something foul, and then it sagged with relief. Two red patches burned on his cheeks as a hopeless longing filled his features. A pink heart glowed over his head, and the burly man ran away in embarrassment. Satisfied, the bard faced me and spread his arms wide. Behold! All right, so that is Bard to the Bone by Sid Banks. If you liked that little snippet, go check it out on Amazon. The link is in the description below. Thank you, Sid Banks, for requesting it. I hope you request it again sometime soon. And if you do, be sure to get me a specific PDF for if you want a scene in particular narrated with some direction for the characters. I hope you don't mind me using Quantum Hughes as the voice of your bard. But yeah, I thought that was relatively fun. It was comical. I kind of wish that I'd picked something a little bit deeper into the story. Um, that's okay. All right. Our next request. Let's see here. Oh, Sid just accepted my friend request. So I think he's just a little bit late to the game. Hopefully he'll pop by. It was good. I'm going to send him a link. All right. Okay, so the next request will be first login Chronicle, book 1. Let me look up PDF for that. Okay, so that one I do know there is a specific PDF that Kevin Murphy wanted me to read. All right, let's go here. Let's go. Come on, search option. All right, let's close Gmail. Cool, I can't. Okay. I'm going to read the synopsis for this one. Time in a capsule. People seek out escapes through countless avenues, but when the product is extra time to live within an emerging digital world, everyone's a customer. Game capsules transport players to a new world where time is perceived far more slowly. Why study for 8 hours in the real world when you could get it all done in a single hour? Why work slowly? Why relax that way? Following this mentality, Chronicle has become more than a game for governments, businesses, and players alike. When Corbin Landrick, an unlucky but hard-working guy, finally gets his hands on a cron pod, he jumps headfirst into his second life. While he struggles to plant both feet firmly on the ground in a world of magic and monsters, he finds out that virtual reality is what you make it. All right. So, first, log in. It's loading, guys. Excuse me. Here it is. All right, how about you do what I say, iPad? I tapped on. Yeah, there we go. All right, here is what Kevin has to say. Characters. Old man, frail at first until he walks down the stairs. Then he has a deep and lordly voice. Okay. Corbin, protagonist, mid-20s male. He sounds confident because he's in his element within his home. In this scene, he's excited for the new arrival of his game pod, but he's still fed up with print and grill. With the print and grill. Okay. Okay, Paquette brand print and grill. Obnoxiously cheerful. It's corporate advertisement built into a food appliance. Awesome. Dispassionate female voice, system voice when Corbin enters the pod. Cool, calm, and collected female voice without much emotion. Not terribly robotic, but not excited. New, powerful male voice at end of reading. The same voice as the old man after he's been made young. Something that may throw you for a loop. The first few paragraphs make up the original advertisement for the game and are written in a different tense than the rest. Ideally, it's like it'll feel like narrating a movie ad for that portion. Okay, cool. Okay, so I'm just gonna narrate with my natural voice. I might as well just give the MC my voice. And we'll see how this goes. This is first login, Chronicle Book 1, I think. Yes, Chronicle Book 1 by Kevin Murphy. All right. Sitting in the center of a great stone hall, lit aglow by an abundance of torches, an old man leans back, worn and decrepit, on an upraised throne. He's draped in elegant robes of aged purple cloth, finely embroidered with an odd but matching pointed cap. Cobwebs cling to him where he sits, unperturbed, and camouflage his thin white hair and beard. His sedentary posture suggests that he has not moved in a very long time. He seems more dead than alive. The old man stirs and wheezes, producing dry sounds not far from the rattles of death. After a moment, the harsh rasping of parched, unused vocal cords settles into a hoarse voice. Hey guys, Banks has just joined the chat. Hi Sid, he's the author of the Bad to the Bard book that I was just narrating earlier. Okay. What if? While the old one slowly speaks, he centers himself in his seat and pulls himself up to stand through great effort. The creaking of old bones and ancient wood echo through the hall. The wispily bearded man's hunched back straightens as he meets the challenge of the stairs downward. Each step he takes seems to invigorate him. His withered body begins to grow fuller, and his hair darkens by shades as he moves toward the viewer. At the bottom of the stairs, his body is now that of a powerful 40-something. A new glint in his eyes accompanies his mischievously upturned lips. What if, at your leisure, the man exclaims while raising his left arm with measured slowness, you could transport yourself to another world as real as your own? A world where landscapes are breathtaking, wilds are untamed, and nothing is beyond your reach. The man closes his fingers in front of him as if grasping the very world of which he speaks. His arm is revivified, his form young and imposing. His voice is loud and bold. A world filled with mystery and adventure. A world where you can tailor your own adventure and forge your own destiny. A world where you can leave behind an old, frail body or any malady that curtails you. The man casts up. Maybe he shouldn't still be old. I'm gonna go for I am going to go for like more of what's his name? The Taken guy. Uh, uh the damn it. What is his name? Qui-Gon Jinn. Mm, Liam Neeson. A world filled with mystery and adventure. A world where you can tailor your own adventure and forge your own destiny. A world where you can leave behind an old, frail body or any malady that curtails you. Not quite there. I mean, obviously he's Irish. Curtails you. The man casts up both of his hands. The scene of him standing in the hall erupts in a torrent of light which fades into several short glimpses of adventurous life. The man's shadowy form, backlit by an enormous moon, stands atop a great cliffside overlooking the world beneath. Next, he is shown reading in a great library surrounded by stacks, piles, and shelves filled with hundreds of thousands of books. Then, at a celebration of unthinkable scale, he's drinking outside at a table of honor amid a massive feast. Finally, the man arcs electricity from his upturned left hand while hurling a ball of flame toward a crowd of charging, bloodthirsty adversaries. The man's visage fills the screen again. With a wide smile, he asks, what if simply being there could give you extra time? The vivid recording then fades starkly to black, where the frosty text, Chronicle, appears in an operational link. Oh, one more thing, guys. For you mega fans who said you have a bazillion hours of my audiobooks to listen to, thank you again. But also, if you could please share this video or even share the channel with people in your social media realms, I would really appreciate it. We need more subscribers. We're going to be at 1,000 very soon. I think we are at 893 right now. My goal is for us to get to 1,000 before the end of the year. If you guys can help me out with that, that would be so appreciated. Um, but yeah, anyway, I just remembered to do that, and I didn't want to forget before I got done narrating this. Okay. The link in that advertisement would bring you to a website selling Chronicle pods. The advertisement quickly circulated through news outlets and social media networks. Within 3 months, everyone in the world had seen it. That advertising, and he's playing some ukulele. That advertising wildfire was thanks in no small part to heavy media attention focused on showing off the brand new technology that hundreds of famous online personalities simultaneously beta tested for a full 168-hour week. One full week, all contained within the span of only 21 hours. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the mic outside. There we go. Reporters, critics, streamers, and their ilk sang nothing save praises of the experience they had undertaken. Editorials, blogs, vlogs, and live-streamed chats boasted of how they stepped into a funny little pod, sat through a few diagnostics, tweaked a few character settings, and then found themselves standing in a complete and beautiful new world. The testers could do whatever they wanted. Some simply relaxed, found the spare time to read a book or two, and watched a few movies. Some drank wildly, fought vigorously, and partied continuously. Some, excuse me, some heroically protected innocents from fiends and felons, while others robbed them and fled. The testers could act entirely without inhibitions. The one thing every tester did without fail, however, was log out after hours of playtime to discover that they had only been in the pod for minutes. That was the haymaker that would leave the testers floored and the world reeling. I really like this idea, by the way, that you can slow down time by going into a virtual world where time is handled differently. It's it's a really cool concept. Okay. The game that would change the world was released in 2062. At the time, there was nothing particularly groundbreaking about an immersive virtual reality world or even fully fledged artificial intelligence, but what Chronicle brought to the table was technology that felt significantly more advanced and incredibly more polished. When playing in a Cron pod, you felt and sensed everything. Pain was limited to certain thresholds, holds and filters could eliminate some undesired effects, but overall, sensations seemed real and, often, better. The crippled could walk, the deaf could hear, the blind could see, and those unable to smell could experience the scent of Limburger cheese, to their own boon or folly. A non-player character, an artificially intelligent game denizen of Chronicle, was found to be indistinguishable from another player in a pod, except for a lack of name hovering above their head while in cities and a complete lack of knowledge relating to the real world. NPCs had it all: ambitions, insecurities, and lineages that could be traced back generations. Alone, that was already an incredible feat for a virtual world, but Chronicle's second greatest trick was that the world would evolve naturally on its own. The hierarchical AI of Chronicle created new content, quests, and narratives as the game was played. Content was created almost instantly and checked by a command chain of separate AI entities just as quickly to ensure that the additions were thematic and were not entirely game-breaking. Today's the day! I'm getting my very own Cron Pod! Corbin Landrick, an exhilarated 24-year-old mischief-prone man, couldn't have slept the night before even if he had given it a real try. He hopped out of bed and thought about his recent reversal of fortune. The best game in the world, if one could truly call it a game, was going to be delivered to and made playable for him within the next hour. Chronicle had been released nearly half a year ago, and Corbin, living dollar to dollar despite an age of government-provided allowances, couldn't dream of affording a gaming pod without taking out a loan that would ruin him. Corbin wasn't dull, nor was he a bad judge of the state of things, and, despite the state of his finances, some might even call Corbin good with money. His problem was a terrible run of misfortune. Corbin was ambitious within his means. He had many ideas which were certainly clever, if not profitable. He worked hard, chased his ambitions when he had accumulated any sum of extra money, and played games or reread a book when he was completely exhausted of resources. For the last half year, he'd put his projects aside in order to save up enough money for a cron pod. He was still a considerable way off from his target goal when a rare offer for a refurbished pod awoke him from a post-work nap the day before, thanks to an alert from a program he had set up to monitor second-hand retailers. The purchase had nearly drained his funds dry, but he was so happy about it that he had been jittering in anticipation through the night. Now, with a brand new toy, he'd have to dine with utmost frugality if he he'd have to dine with utmost frugality if he wanted to pay his rent on time. Corbin, along with the rest of the world, had had his eye on Chronicle since its announcement and wanted to play the game for enjoyment every bit as much as he wanted the extra time and opportunities that it would provide him. At this point, the most hardcore players in-game would have had nearly 4 years of playtime more than he had. Unacceptable, Corbin thought. His mood soured, and his excited quivering ceased. It was completely unacceptable for him to have missed out on so much time. It's like losing 4 years of my life for nothing. Despite sounding a bit dramatic to himself, Corbin wasn't entirely wrong. Over the last half over the last half year, using standard time, most services had become available within the game world of Chronicle. As advertised, anyone in the game could watch full movies, read books, and even watch in-game live-streamed content. Scores, okay. Okay, only if it's in-game though, right? Like you can't watch a stream of someone outside the game, in the game, unless you're just watching it at 1/10 the speed or whatever the ratio is. Scores of businesses had transferred their operations into Chronicle for the same reason students studied there. 8 times as much time just for being logged in. 8 times. So 1/8 speed watching streams does not sound like fun to me. When players step in and strap themselves into pods, they're scanned automatically. They're scanned, then automatically fitted with biometric sensors, which not only monitor the player's conditions, but allow for continuous fine-tuning to ensure a seamless immersive experience. Then the players accept that they're ready to log in and are put into a put into a sleep-like trance, which they'll remain in. Let's start this sentence over. I can't even talk. Then the players accept that they're ready to log in and are put into a sleep-like trance, which they'll remain in until they choose to leave or are ejected in the case of an emergency. All capsules are easily upgradable for long-term use, should a player wish to remain in-game for more than the suggested maximum 12 real hours at a time. Upgrades include haptic electrodes, which simulate muscles, feeding tubes for nourishment, and a waste disposal tube for just that. There isn't an upgrade for a standard pod, which keeps the users washed, and the in-and-out tubes have earned a reputation for being a less than wholly pleasant experience to fit and remove. Corbin worked for a construction group as a construction apprentice. In short, he did all the jobs that needed doing, but no one would volunteer for, and he received little pay for his trouble. The day was Friday, and he was taking a rare day off to receive and set up his new refurbished cron pod. Corbin checked to make sure he had a beef paquette brand food packet connected to his paquette brand print and grill and said the activation phrase, "Packet, what would you like me to cook for you? If you'd like a list of up..." The meal fabricator was cut off by Corbin. "Make me roast beef on a biscuit," Corbin demanded. "Right away! You are currently low on just make it already," snapped Corbin impatiently. "Right away! Your roast beef on biscuit will be ready in 5 minutes. While you wait, check out this amazing deal for Print and Grill Volume Mute," Corbin said, silencing the upcoming advertisement, as well as the upcoming alert, which would tell him precisely when his food was ready to eat. As Corbin waited for his food, he decided to feed his anticipation by browsing some websites for general information about Chronicle. He'd already checked various forums and wikis for information on classes, leveling guides, and exploits in the game, but the information was sparse considering how much time players had had to update it. In Chronicle, in-game copper, silver, gold, and platinum coins could be exchanged for real-world currency. Both were about as tangible as the other, but to make the exchange, you'd have to visit money changers in-game or install third-party software on your CronPod. These NPCs could typically be found in banks and acted as the in-game faces of various large banking conglomerates. Because players had the ability to exchange in-game currency for credits and the other way around, those who made good money in-game could earn a respectable living from the virtual world. Before Corbin had gleaned any useful information, a delivery drone requested access into the apartment to drop off a parcel. "Please, come in!" Corbin yelled, ecstatically. The drone wheeled its way into the apartment and, upon determining that the room was too cluttered for an easy delivery, opened its large, reusable shipping container and left the massive Chronicle pod right beyond the threshold before speeding off. "Come on!" Corbin wailed before clearing a path and pushing the massive pod toward the closest universal utility port to plug in his brand new hardware. After plugging in the pod, but before getting both legs in, Corbin remembered to grab his then cold roast beef biscuit and devour it along with as much water as he could drink over a 5-second period. It was time for him to get in the game. Corbin stripped down to his boxer briefs, climbed into the upright pod, and leaned back. "Power on," Corbin said with the welling excitement of a 6-year-old on Christmas morning. The pod whirred briefly as the lid automatically slid shut and the pod's orientation leaned Corbin back at a 30-degree angle. A dispassionate female voice filled the capsule. "Please place your hands on the acclimatization handles, if able. Since this is your first time using this Chronicle pod, you must allow a short diagnostic to take place. Please read over the terms of service while you wait." The pod began whirring once again after Corbin gripped the two handles in front of his hands, which set his body in the position that the pod was waiting for. A prompt appeared in front of Corbin's face with an incredibly long end-user agreement that Corbin skimmed only briefly, then accepted with a voice command. The interior of the pod began to feel tighter as sturdy airbags inflated around him, lightly pinning sensors over the entirety of Corbin's body. The experience surprised him at first, but once it had finished, Corbin found the pressure to be rather comfortable. The pod began to revolve slowly in the manner of a concrete mixer as the diagnostic came to its end. "To begin playing Chronicle, please say, 'Engage,'" the voice stated coolly. "Engage!" Corbin happily obliged right before a puff of air carrying some familiar, sweet scent, which he couldn't quite place, encouraged him to close his eyes. And then, about 10 seconds later, there he was. Or rather, wasn't. Corbin was disembodied in a well-lit, empty space. There was nothing as far as the eye could see except for a meter-wide pedestal with the word "Create" chiseled in its stone base. "Create!" Corbin said, having no other method to interact. Then, there before him, stood his carbon copy, a somewhat short for the era, 5'8", man, with disheveled brown hair, brown eyes, and just enough even facial stubble to avoid baby-face comments at his workplace. He looked like precisely the sort of guy who would be easy to lose in a crowd. "You may only have one avatar. If you wish to change your avatar, you must delete your existing one and will lose all of your accumulated progress. Your vitals have been scanned and appropriate statistics have been determined. You may now customize this avatar to your heart's desire. Your avatar is the way in which all other players and game residents perceive you. When you have finished customizing your avatar, say or select Finalize. If you choose not to customize your avatar, you will be awarded a large number of stat points that will automatically be distributed to your character based on your scanned vitals." To the sides of the pedestal where his carbon copy stood, Corbin could see two plinths. One was labeled Customize and the other Finalize. Corbin knew that if he selected Customize, he would spend hours, even days, customizing his character's appearance and statistics down to the most minute details. But he was way more interested in the bonus stats he would receive from accepting his appearance and statistics as they were relegated by the AI. "Finalize," Corbin said. "Please select a name for your avatar. The name you choose is how other players and game residents will address you. Names are not unique." "Dakon," Corbin said firmly. It was a comfortable name which he had been using for years as an alias online. Dakkon. "Dakon, is this correct?" The name appeared in large, floating gray letters. "Yes. Confirm. Affirmative. Let's get this show on the road," Corbin said from his disembodied state. "Close your eyes and be reborn." No. "Close your eyes and be reborn," a new, powerful male voice thundered. Corbin thought he had heard the voice before, but from where, he did not know. As the world around him faded to black, Corbin closed his eyes. And that's it for Chronicle. First login, Chronicle Book 1, I guess. Again, Kevin Murphy, thank you for requesting that book a long time ago. And it looks like Book 2 is out as well. It is called Trial and Flame, and it's got a completely different cover. I like the style of it. Let me screen share it with you guys real quick. Here it is. Okay. Cool cover, and this one seems to have done pretty well too. 35 customer reviews. Let's see here. And it was released August 1st, so it's been out for a little while and still doing okay. So yeah, if you guys liked what you heard there, you can find the link in the description below, where you can buy the book on Amazon. Thank you again, Kevin Murphy, for requesting that. And now it is time for Cringe Theater. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Cringe Theater is about to commence. Let me search for the request. Troll. Uh-oh. Michael Ryan Soilo did not send me a PDF. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go buy that one. Where is it? Here it is. It's on Kindle. $2. I'll buy it. Thank you, Emma Clark, for your book. This is Cringe Theater. So that means hide your kids, hide your wife, hide your husband. Because this is gonna be some really inappropriate stuff. Maybe I don't know how inappropriate it's gonna be, actually. I haven't read it. I don't think that's why Michael Ryan Soilo requested it. I think he requested it because it's terrible. Oh, and this is narrated by a female. Okay, so how long how long can we expect this to be? I think we're just gonna do the first chapter. I hope it's bad enough at that point, like through the entire first chapter. Ryan Soilo was saying it was terrible. And Jenny Nicholson agrees. She thinks it's the worst book ever written, maybe. But we'll see. I'm gonna go see if Annie wants to do this one with me. Hey, Annie, would you like to read some Troll? Here she comes. So yes, again, hide your loved ones, and if you want to show some people some cringe, we're gonna get started here. Hi, Annie. Okay, so you will be in my seat because you are the narrator of this story. It's called Troll, and it's possibly the worst book ever written. Oh, good. Yeah. Everyone's going to enjoy this, I think. I'm going to go get another pair of headphones, and I'll be at the laptop. Remember that Jenny Nicholson girl that I've been watching? Yes. That video, he was talking about this book. Ah. All right. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Sweet. All right. Let me pull up. I don't know how much stuff I actually have for this one. Okay, so they're gonna do some chatting together, like her and the troll are gonna do some text chatting. So I'll just do his voice during those.
Okay.
All right, and let me see if I can
I want to keep monitoring the chat. Can you see the chat where you are?
Me?
Is
Yes.
it pulled up? Yeah, cool. People are so relieved that they get to look at you instead of me for a while. All right. Here it is. All right. So here goes. This is Troll by Emma Clark. You have been warned, everyone. This is cringe theater.
Okay.
Okay.
1. Seasons. Summertime lasted 3 months, making it worse than Valentine's Day. Summer, a season when lovers held hands, embraced and kissed as they strolled side by side on the walkway heading nowhere. Sometimes I was forced to watch these lovers, considering my small apartment loomed above the street. My computer desk sat by the living room window. This gave a clear view of the city skyline where distant buildings peaked. So many obstructive buildings that I forgot what the moon looked like. I used my laptop 6 hours per day, stopping off long enough to fetch one snack after the other. A lousy receptionist job got in the way of internet surfing when I'd rather immerse myself in chat rooms to escape reality. A little overweight at 5 feet and 125 pounds. I'm not going to comment. I'd struggled with weight since the age of 12. But that's life. No one's perfect. No body's perfect. And I had nice features I had nice features like wheat blonde hair, green eyes, and a shapely figure. I turned men's heads in public. My real problem was lack of self-confidence. It hindered and held me back like a dead weight instead of any literal weight issue.
She's just complaining about it. Sorry.
I mean, I guess, that held her back too, but even more than that was her self-confidence, even
Right.
though she was fully aware that men were turning heads towards her. Roly-poly. It was easier to speak for men on the internet. It opened up an entire world for me, an accessible world with an accessible world with accessible men. 125 pounds really isn't that much. I think even for somebody of that height, that seems kind of normal range to me. But of course, most women who are normal weight do think they're fat.
Yeah.
So it's hyper realism is what we're dealing with here. It's meta realism.
Yeah.
As for those stick thin, perfect models stuck in your face via ad bombardment, I looked as damn good as they did. An extra pound or two wouldn't convince me otherwise. Best not to dwell on depressing matters. So I turned my attention to a certain website. Perched behind my desk, I clicked through endless pages of true Christian love, obsessively searching for the best looking guys, though I wasn't sure why, since it was pointless. Either way, this site catered to Christians seeking love matches. No, I wasn't a Christian. I only used the site to avoid men who trolled strictly for sex.
What?
Okay, but now you're not gonna have any sex, so I hated guys who I mean, I guess she could just looking for a husband, that's one it's fine. It's all good. There are different kinds of Christians. Some of them like to have sex before marriage. I'm sure of actually, I know this is true. No, I wasn't a Christian. I only used the site to avoid men who trolled strictly for sex. I hated guys like that. Usually. They were arrogant, conceited, and entitled jerks. I admired profiles of hot guys even though they'd turned me down or ignore my flirts. Considering these men were too good for me, or they thought they were, I messaged average guys. In the space of 6 months, I dated 4 times, but the relationships didn't go anywhere. I didn't sense a spark or chemistry. Probably because when they were like, "Are you a Christian?" and you were like, "No," they were like, "Oh, I don't only date Christians. That's kind of a big deal to me because I'm on a Christian dating site." Would loneliness remain and define me as a person? Yet there was more to life than settling down with a husband, or settling for a guy I wasn't especially interested in. Which poses further questions. What type of guy especially interests me? Is there a snowball's chance in hell he'd be waiting for me on this site? I snickered at my own naivety. After browsing photos, I clicked my inbox and found 2 new messages. Good thing I didn't get my hopes up, because the first came from a bearded man in his 60s. Sounds hot. That's the message I'm looking for. I deleted it. Sorry, Grandpa, but you're too old for me. Someone called Genius One sent the second. Genius One. Isn't he's modest? Intrigued, I began reading his PM.
Hello. No,
That's right. Sure, that's right.
Don't take my role.
Sorry.
Hello. Great boobs you have. I noticed the cleavage in your photo. So what size bra do you wear? Either way, they look amazing, luscious. A single look got me ravenous. Let's chat, honey. I want to get to know you. Genius One. Parentheses. Just. P.S. I don't give my real name out just to anyone. Hope that makes you feel special.
That is a believable message. Warmth wet my cheeks. I stared at the closing line, disappointed that I'd been trolled. Awash with sudden curiosity, I clicked the troll's profile and a low-resolution photo emerged of a young man with a flashy white smile. Wow. Genius One was quite a handsome troll, the kind of sensual looks that could melt any woman's heart. Also, sometimes people appeared even more attractive in person. Not that I'd let him get that far. Couldn't, wouldn't, shouldn't. But yet he seemed so damn tasty, and oozed enough confidence for both of us. Sometimes bad trolls could be good trolls. Sometimes bad was good. Although insta-crush equals not good. And then chat invitation appeared. Wasn't that something? Fuck it. I'd humor him, and myself. It'd be fun, and I could use a little relief from the same old boredom of net surfing and dead-end date sites. I typed a response. Me. Hi. Him.
Oh, terrific. You decided to take me up on my offer. What's your name, hun? Winky face.
Me. What do you want? Frankly, I found your earlier PM very offensive. Him.
You mean the part about your nice boobs? Why would you find that offensive? You should be flattered that you have such luscious, round, firm, beautiful breasts.
Seriously?
Yeah. So you don't like me?
You've got to say that as a question mark.
Yeah? So you don't like me talking about boobs? They're a natural part of the female anatomy, like vaginas. And there's reason why penis fits inside a vagina. Like, say it'd be a natural process for me to slide my cock up your vagina. Nothing to get worked up over, winky face.
No. It's disrespectful, incredibly creepy, and spare me the sex lecture. I'm sure you're old enough to know better, aren't you? Or are you really 15 and pretending to be old enough to spout filthy, vile things from your mouth?
Maybe. But seriously, does my profile pic make me look 15? Rolling on floor, laughing my fucking ass off. I'll compromise. Would you prefer if I called them... Would you prefer if I called them boobs? What about tits? If so, then I'll start over and say you have nice tits. Better?
Not by a long shot, asshole. I clicked off the site. Holy shit, that turned into a complete disaster. My bad. I retreated to the sanctuary of my bedroom, far from the horrid laptop of genius misogynistic pig. And genius misogynistic pig, sorry. Out of sight, out of mind. Later, I drifted to sleep and dreamed of Genius Pig's blurry face, which pissed me off when I woke up the following morning. Disgusting, sick, revolting. I vowed to find a much better, respectable dating site. Good luck with that, Kyla Atkins. And good luck with getting this damned stick out of your head. Sicko out of your head. And good luck with getting this damned sicko out of your head. This lunatic is your ultimate weakness. Even if you don't realize it, your subconscious does.
Oh, this is terrible. Oh, okay,
As the sun rose early the following morning, I ended up searching profiles on that website. Same old, same old. A compulsion, obsession, can not stop. Besides, why let one troll spoil the entire site? Alert for a new PM. I ignored it and continued browsing. Alert for a second PM. I ignored it too. Alert for a third PM. Alert, alert, alert. Damn, damn, damn. I hit the inbox and furiously scanned my messages. A blinking chat box commanded my attention as well. Demanding entitled asshole. Me, what the hell do you want?
Hi, honey. It's me.
I know it's you, dickweed. So what do you want? This is getting old. And BTW, stop calling me honey. Damn it.
Baby, I'm just being friendly. No need to get bitchy, sad face.
Please stop messaging me. You're verging on stalking, and I'm sick of it.
Aw, PMS time?
You know what? You're a total prick. Fuck off.
Say please.
No.
Say please. Please, please, pretty, please, please, please.
Please fuck off.
I'll fuck off for you if you really want me to.
Yes.
Okay, meet me on Skype tonight and I'll do it.
Huh?
I'll fuck off on camera. You wanted to see me fuck off, no?
I shut down the laptop instead of chucking it out the window. My face flushed hot, heart racing as I launched from the chair and stormed into the kitchen. With my backside wedged to the fridge. I made a decision. I had to do it. For the next 7 days, I distanced myself from the laptop, as if it were alive and my worst enemy. Actually, I think it was my worst enemy. However, this evening I gained the nerve to log on to True Christian Love. So much for keeping distance. TLC's homepage alerted me to a new text. I inhaled, exhaled, and clicked the dreaded inbox. From Genius One.
Hey, baby, where are you? The damn site keeps saying you're offline and I miss our enlightening conversations. Since you're not here, I find myself staring at your gorgeous profile pic.
Oh,
then I find myself in the bathroom.
Oh, God, no. He didn't write that. A sense of panic squeezed my heart. So I started to exit the site, but my finger froze on the mouse and I stupidly skimmed the rest.
I find myself in the bathroom, jerking off. When I imagine your pretty face surrounded by that lush blonde hair, all I want to do is come and come and come. I need to blow a hot wad every time I think of you, or else I'll go insane. I wish to God I could blow my hot cum inside you. I constantly fantasize about it. Can't help myself. Can't stop it. I've totally fucking lost control. I'm gonna totally lose control all over you. I can imagine how you taste, smell, how you feel, how tight you are. I want to experience your beautiful legs wrapped around my waist while I'm fucking you. I want to possess every single inch of you, nail you, fuck you. Please tell me your game. I'd love for us to lose control with each other. God, I hope I'm not scaring you. Am I scaring you?
Not at all.
Anyhow, baby, I'm sorry if I offended you the last time. How about another chance? I promise never to hurt you. Genius One, Justin.
I gaped, spreading at his. Sorry. The word wasn't spreading. I gaped, rereading his crude suggestions over and over, his crazy apology, his sexually explicit rants. A complete stranger sent me the dirtiest, most provocative message I'd ever seen in my 21 years of living. This guy wasn't a genius. This guy was a certifiable nut job. He apologized for offending me, though he kept doing it. What the actual fuck? And why, in God's name, couldn't I stop thinking about him? Because he's your type, a little voice hinted. Baddies have always been your type, remember? There was definitely something intriguing about Genius 1, aside from his perversions and good looks. Hold on. I'm just gonna take a breather here for a second. Okay. There was definitely something intriguing about Genius 1, aside from his perversions and good looks. I couldn't exactly pinpoint what fascinated me the most. He's a bad boy. That's what's so damn fascinating, you idiot. Even as I shook my head in denial, the facts couldn't be denied or dismissed. I blew out a sigh, fighting those inner voices which reminded me of my attraction for weirdos. Shit. Maybe I was the weirdo. Yes, that was it. This strange obsession just couldn't be explained by anything else, except he was one of a handful of who'd expressed intense interest in me. That made me stand out. I'm gonna take a drink of water. There are so many problems with all of this. Actually, intense interest was a massive understatement, and his crazed sex struck fear in me. Despite this, I found his attention exciting, thrilling. He was the first man to give me such a reaction. Justin, a name that stole my breath and accelerated my pulse. Oh, wow. I'm absolutely as crazy as he is. Troubled by this self-diagnosis, I leaned back and folded my arms over my head. The shitty chair creaked. An image popped to the screen. Puzzled, I unfolded my arms and slanted over to discern the home video. It lightened, drew into focus as a lean silhouette became a man. He stood before a camera, somehow streaming live video to my computer. My computer! And I'd be damned if he didn't begin to strip. No, just no. But there it was in plain sight.
Hi, baby.
His pouty lips belonged to a face etched with strong features. Styled in a faux hawk, blonde highlights streaked his auburn hair. Elevated cheekbones, a subtle slant to azure eyes, straight nose, and smooth complexion completed this portrait of perfection.
Call me Justin.
He winked, stripped off his shirt, and revealed a rippling, golden brown stomach. Golden brown stomach.
Justice stomach.
Justin.
Justice stomach.
Just the stomach is golden brown. The rest of him is pasty white.
He's like a Care Bear. Like a Care Bear.
Justin. He loosened his belt and drifted closer.
Wondering how I'm streaming this video?
He removed his belt, unzipped, and inched his jeans lower. Smooth skin shone under his navel as if he'd shaved everywhere. Not a hair in sight.
I've been waiting to show you this.
clad in black boxers and eyeing me via the lens. Justin stripped out of his jeans. He eased his hands across a toned midsection, rubbing, taunting, hips swaying in a seductive dance. Occasionally, he yanked his boxers down, widening his arrogant grin as he gave a side glimpse of his bare ass. Justin's tongue swept his lips teasingly and flicked outward like a snake's. No longer able to resist, I melted as my knees weakened. Totally. Absolutely. God, I had to have him! Had to get a taste or I'd die. He reached into his shorts, worked his cock until it grew to a shocking length. Before I could react, he tugged his boxers and proudly put his cock on display. I couldn't divert my eyes. Justin's prick stood at attention, huge and aimed upright like a missile. He stroked and stroked, paused to massage his swollen balls. He never glanced from the camera as I imagined he was gazing straight at me. Fresh hunger darkened his eyes.
Don't worry. I don't mind if you watch me come.
He puckered his lips to blow a kiss, and he stroked, caressed. His cock enlarged and turned shades of violet. He gasped, sighed, and closed his eyes.
Oh, baby. Oh.
Stroke, stroke, stroke.
God, I want you. Right now I'm pretending to drill you with my cock.
Another series of slow, easy hand motions. Groaning, he sped up, frantic while he thrust and jerked his cock. Its violet hue deepened. Tip bulged, ready to explode. Justin moaned, and his breath caught. He furiously bucked the air as his cock fired. Jerk, jerk, jerk. 2, 3, 4 spurts.
Yeah. I'm fucking you good, baby.
His head tossed back, torso twisted while he struggled for breath. Every muscle in his body flexed. I can't believe I'm saying these things on the internet, you guys. I'm saying these fucking things on the internet, you guys.
Oh, fuck. This is hilarious.
Oh my God. Fifth spurt! Fifth spurt! Fifth spurt! He squeezed his cock with a shaky hand. Cum remnants dribbled down his wrist. Sated, Justin leered and tucked his dick inside his boxers. This was the craziest experience ever.
Okay. All right. I think we've tortured ourselves enough. What do you think?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. I was done after the fifth spurt.
All right, guys, that is our cringe theater for today. Someone says,
sorry, JS. I hope the kids didn't hear it.
Someone says, shades of violet. I think Justin needs to see a doctor. Possible. It's possible. So thank you everybody for making your requests. Thank you, Michael Ryan Soilo, for putting us through that bullshit. Thank
this
you.
Is Michael Ryan Soilo's fault?
Yes, this is.
Okay. I'm just gonna bookmark that.
Yeah. And yeah, that is our stream for tonight. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out.
Thank you.
And jerking off at your computer screens with us.
I'm sure every single one of you was.
Yeah, probably. And yeah, I guess just watch out for the next Sound Booth Theater Live. Make sure to like and subscribe. Like this video, subscribe to the channel, share it if you want to sicken other people. And tomorrow
they're not all like this, by the way. I hope that are there any new people who should know that we're not always reading the worst imaginable porn?
Yeah.
I guess it's not the worst imaginable porn, but
it's really not. It's pretty mild.
It's just bad. It's just stupid. Yeah.
So
it's not all porn.
Oh shit.
Sometimes we read stories that don't have anything to do with sex at all.
Sometimes. It happens once in a while. But So tomorrow we have another Sound Booth Theater Live that's actually dedicated to a meritocracy. Annie has finished narrating the entire series. We just need to do all the production work, all the editing and proofing and stuff. I think we're going to be submitting a Meritocracy Book 2 to the publishers tomorrow, and then it'll be out relatively soon after that, before Christmas.
The Meritocracy is a great book.
It really is.
It has it's a good read. It's a good read. It couldn't be further from whatever this is.
Yeah, it really couldn't. It's really intelligent, and it talks. It's really timely, I think, and it feels cathartic in a way. It's like it brings all these different viewpoints together and kind of gives a objective view of them. And I really like the way it turned out, like throughout the entire series. And we're really excited to have AC Fuller back tomorrow on Sound Booth Theater Live. We're just going to run through a few scenes that some of Annie's favorite scenes, some of AC's favorite scenes, just to give you guys a little bit more of a taste of what's coming up. So yeah, that's it. Keep an eye out for tomorrow, and go to the Facebook group, vote on the next requests only, and I will see you guys again.
Bye, everybody. Oh, it's up to me.
It's up to you. It's up to you to end this.
I don't know how to. Google Hangouts. There it is. Bye, guys.